In this short training, you're going to get really clear about the number one thing you have to get right to help your child finally master reading.
And if you're still watching this video, I don't have to tell you how important reading is. What I do want to tell you is that I understand this challenge from the parent perspective because my own son struggled with reading when he was younger. Like, I still remember how it felt when we got the letter from his school saying he was below grade level and would need to be put in reading intervention. I get the fear in that. And while there are a bunch of things you need to get right to help your child, there is one that's the most important. And I created this training to help you make sure you're getting that part right. With the right training, you can make reading feel as easy as walking. Not only have I seen my own son transform, we've also done this with hundreds of other students.
I know how overwhelming it can be to have a child who's struggling with reading. This challenge affects every part of school, but also home life as well. It can be a challenge to get your child to read anything, to do their homework. Then they start trying to avoid. It becomes a power struggle. It becomes hard to get them to read for fun, to read anything at all. And eventually it can be a problem when your child sometimes doesn't even want to go to school because they're so uncomfortable not being able to read well enough in class. It's a big problem, and I get that. There are lots of different pieces that need to all come together. But no matter what your situation is, there's one thing that all parents have to get right. The number one thing you have to get right is understanding that reading is a learned skill. Reading is not a natural ability. So reading is more like soccer or piano or walking or anything that we would learn how to do. Reading is not like seeing or hearing. Those are natural abilities. No one has to teach you how to see. No one has to teach you how to hear. But reading is not like that. There are over 45 different parts of the brain that all have to be connected in order for reading to happen. And how do these connections happen? Same thing with soccer or piano or walking, right? They have to be connected with practice. And it's the right type of practice in the right way. But the most important thing for you to understand as a parent is that reading is not a natural ability. Reading is a learned skill. Now, why is this the number one important thing to get right? Because knowing that reading is a learned skill will guide your actions in an effective way to support your child. For example, when you know that reading is a learned skill, you know that there's nothing wrong with your child if they're still struggling. It just means they haven't made all those connections in the brain yet. And you also know there's nothing wrong with you as a parent. You're not failing your child, and your child's not failing. This sense of there's something wrong with me or wrong with my child can be a huge deterrent to helping your child finally master reading, and it often comes from this inaccurate belief that reading is some natural ability that we all should just be able to do.
Started Boss Readers to help parents and students solve the problem of not being able to read at grade level. And if you're here right now, that means you get it, right? You understand that solving this problem is a big deal and it matters.
So here's the key step for you to take. You need to make sure that your child knows two things. One, that reading is a learned skill, and it's just a matter of time and practice. And the second thing you want to make sure your child knows is that the stronger his or her brain reads, the stronger his or her brain thinks. Reading is thinking. And no matter what your child wants to do, no matter what they care about in their lives, no matter what inspires them, the stronger they think, the more likely they are to reach those goals. The way we explain this in our coaching is that reading for your brain is like lifting weights for your muscles. It's all about making your brain stronger. So that's the number one thing all parents have to get right.
Okay, now that you know the most important thing you need to get right as a parent, what should you do next? Well, what I would recommend next is to figure out if your child is actually reading at grade level, and if not, what to do about it. So to help you figure that out, we've created a reading grade level diagnostic assessment. It's all online, it's statistically valid and reliable, which means the results will be accurate, and you'll learn your child's reading grade levels in comprehension, vocabulary, silent reading fluency, which is probably the most often used reading skill, but it's actually the least tested in schools. And on top of that, you'll also learn more about your child's mindset and motivation, which is essential to really understanding how to help your child take ownership of the learning process. And based on all this information, right, we can build a targeted reading training plan. This is just like having a personal trainer at a gym, except this is the reading gym. And after you finish the baseline, okay, I'm gonna give you a call with the results. This will also give me a chance to learn more about your child's specific situation, and I'm happy to share my input as a reading specialist. Now, one of the things that makes Boss Readers different is that we don't just teach your child how to read better. We teach them how to take ownership of their learning and become their own reading coach. This process gives them the confidence they need to know that they can read any text that any teacher puts in front of them. Feel free to reach out to me with questions. I'm here to help you figure this out, and I'm excited to help you help your child become a stronger reader and a more confident student.